All right. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. We're back. And for a lot of us, we're back to school. So kids get sick when they go back to school a lot of times. They are exposed to a lot of cooties and germs. And so, one of the things that is fun about going back to school is all the new backpacks and the new lunch boxes, and the kids want, new notebooks and all the fun stuff that they get to go back to school with. What they don't want to go back to school with is tons of cooties. So, what can we do to not only stuff their backpacks full of fun supplies? We want to be able to give them everything that they need to be able to have a healthy and safe school year. So we're praying for lots of health for everybody, and just a fun, wonderful, normal school year. So let's talk about how we can keep our kids safe and healthy as possible and do everything we can as parents to strengthen our kids' immune systems, so they are ready for another school year. So tonight we have some fun girls to talk to y'all, both teachers, both moms. I'll let them share a little bit about themselves as we chat. So first of all, my name is Lisa. I'm a nurse, and love to be able to come to you guys a lot on Wednesday nights and just to be able to share health and happiness. So first of all, let's talk to my sweet friend Lisa. Her name's Lisa Hudson, and she is going to chat with us. I'm going to ask Lisa a few questions. Lisa, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are so excited. Okay, so let's just get right to it. First of all, before I ask you your first question, tell me about what you do and how many kids you have.
I am a teacher. I teach fifth grade. I'm starting my 25th year and what will be my last year, thanks to Plexus. And I have two kids. They are 20 years old. My son is going to be a junior in college, and my daughter is 17, and she's a senior in high school this year.
Wow, that's crazy. So, two connections we have. I have a senior in high school this year as well, and I have a daughter who's in fifth grade.
Oh,
So, there you go.
awesome.
All right. So, and kudos to you for being a fifth grade teacher. That's not easy. It's not easy. Okay. So, my first question is, Lisa, what was your biggest surprise after starting Plexus? What did you not expect?
So when I started Plexus, I was 42, I think. And I had, done the whole 40-year-old checkup and everything was fine. My blood work was good, whatever. But my doctor had already told me, like, you should be on a good multivitamin. You should be on a probiotic. You should be taking omegas. I didn't know anything about it. It was expensive. I'm married to a police officer. So, we're teacher cop income here. And I guess it just wasn't a priority because I was fine. Right. So, enrolls Plexus, and I saw my friend Kay posting about it, and I decided, what the heck, like, she's loving it. My doctor already told me I should be doing this. So I started. And I did start with hopes to, like, maybe lose 5 pounds of that, weight that you gain in your 40s, and your middle starts to change a little bit, even though your lifestyle hasn't changed at all. And I actually was shocked by results I had about 6 weeks in. I suffer from rosacea and adult onset cystic acne. And so I've always had, like, those kind of big underneath, you know, bumps on my face. And my rosacea would flare every single night at dinner, every single night. Like, after I would get done eating, no matter what it was, my cheeks, my nose. And about 6 weeks in, I just looked at my husband and said, I just realized my face hasn't been flaring, like, in the last couple of days. I haven't noticed it. I haven't felt it. I got up, ran to the bathroom. Sure enough, no pink face. And so then that's when I really started digging in to the research on Candida yeast. And I had no idea that your gut and your skin and, yeast in your body was all connected. So I've learned a lot in the last 5 years about that and have good skin now. So yay. But that was definitely my biggest surprise.
That's awesome. I love the icing on the cake, as if you will, whenever we start for one thing and then we find out, oh my goodness, I was not expecting that at all. So that's awesome. Okay, so next question. Your kids, what changes have you noticed in your own kids taking these products?
So they're both athletes. When I started, my son was playing travel hockey as a high schooler, and my daughter was doing all-star travel cheer. So both of them were traveling all over the country, and we were just a super busy family. And I started them both right away on ProBio 5 and X Factor. And they were iffy about the slim here and there, whatever. My son, teenage boy, he's been off and on over the years. But for him in the last year, probably I would say, so from like 19 to 20, probably, he's going to be 21 in January. He really got serious about supplementing, and he has lost like 25 pounds and is just like honestly in the best shape of his life. So he actually just sent me a text today. I need Hydrate and BioCleanse, please. Like whenever he's home, he comes in my office and scoops up all the stuff in his bag, and he's been just absolutely religious about it. And I know for a fact that has been, he's on Triplex, Mega X, and Active. He will not get on the ice without an Active or go to the gym. And then X Factor Plus. So he's on like Fab 5 Plus, and he looks amazing and he feels great. And I think he finally believes his mama about, what's the dealio with the supplements, right? Because teenagers, they're a hard nut to crack sometimes. And my daughter actually, in her cheer, she was at the gym like 15 hours a week doing like major, like level 5 tumbling. Like and her poor little body just was wrecked from it. And so we started her, she was taking loading doses of Ease, like 6 a day for, a long time, for like 2 years. And now she's been able to go down. She still takes 2 every single day, even though she's just doing sideline cheer now, which is way less on her body, but she still takes it. And COVID was not good for her mental health. And probably just about 45 days ago, we started her on Vital Biome. She's been also not slim, but ProBio 5, BioCleanse, regular X Factor, and Ease always. And she was pretty close to having to go maybe get an anxiety med. And so I was like, please try the Vital Biome for me, please. And it was really at about day 30 that she kind of came out with her empty bottle and said, I'm leaving to go up north and I'm out of these. Like, we had to call one of my neighbors and get 6 pills. So because she was like, I need them. They're working. So that for her has been like the biggest plus of all of this, besides the Ease helping her with her joint pain, but that's really been huge for her.
Lisa, I love that you shared that. It's been a rough year and a half for a lot of our kids, especially the kids that are so used to socializing and being around their friends and doing activities. So this has been really rough. And a lot of people don't take into consideration the mental aspect of it. Is really a big deal. And the fact that you were able to, and not everyone can, but the fact that you were able to sideline this, hopefully forever, but if not, for now, and be able to get her something natural. And not only is that going to be great that she's able to not have a prescription because it's prescriptions just typically aren't so great for your GI, for your gut, or for your stomach, but also for your gut. But also, it's such good probiotics in the Vitabiome. It's so good. So she's getting something good for as well. So that's icing on the cake, right?
Yay, yay.
So yeah, my son is 17, a senior, and he's a big athlete. And yeah, he doesn't go a day. Well, he typically doesn't go a day without, his supplements and Slim and Active every morning. And, before he went to work out one day, he forgot and he came home and he just wasn't feeling good and had a headache. He's like, what's the problem? He goes, Mom, I forgot my Slim and Active. And so I don't even have to convince him anymore either to take his supplements because he knows what they do and how he feels. He feels so much better. And I'm so glad we have the Hydrate now because, sweating all the time, working out and sports and, everything. And so I'm glad that we have that as well. He likes that as
Me
well.
too.
So,
And
okay.
She does actually like the kids microbiome drink before her school day.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, we
That's
need to buy some more because she doesn't actually start school until September 8th. So we got to stack that
That's
back.
great. And that's great for her brain and everything
Yeah.
too. So that's great. Good for her.
Yep.
Getting all the good stuff.
She's not done growing yet, right? So
That's
I
right.
mean, yeah.
I like the microbiome, the Mega Kids microbiome drink. I like it. It's good.
Smells amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so next question, Lisa, describe a typical day in the classroom now versus before Plexus.
Oh gosh. So I've always been one since after my son was born. I get up and work out before school. So I get up at 5 a.m. on school days and work out and do all that because it would just not happen after school when and that's just my lifestyle now. I just like it. It's my quiet time in the morning. And so before Plexus, I was drinking a pre-energy drink that was, it had a lot of B vitamins in it and it had nitric oxide in it, but it also had sucralose in it and probably some other things. I don't know, the label was so tiny, I could barely even actually read what was in it, but I took that for a lot of years. And now I wake up and I have my Metaburn first thing in the morning. And that's my pre-workout now. So that has, well, let me reverse to when I first started, I started on Triplex and Accelerator. And one day I was at school, like maybe a month in, and I was just like, I just feel like I'm like in such a good mood. Like I'm just happier. Like I just felt better. Like you can't really put your finger on it, but now I know it was that 5-HTP and doing all the things and my blood sugar was regulated and all that good stuff. So just kind of like, more patience, happier mood at school. And it's funny, just like you said, your son, like every once in a while in the mornings, I'll like either forget my Slim or didn't drink my Slim. I don't even know how that happens, but probably about 2 o'clock during the school day, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel like I'm dragging? And then I kind of backtrack through my day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't, and, usually I have extras in my bag, but luckily there's about 6 or 8 teachers in my building that are ambassadors on my team. So we're always, texting each other, like, who has an active, who has a Slim? I need this. Oh my gosh. So but you can definitely tell a difference, just, like you said, with your son, if you forget it that day, you'll feel it in the afternoon for sure. For sure.
That's great. I mean, who doesn't like, being in a better mood and just feeling happier? I mean, and being able to
students appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, for sure. And a lot of husbands out there too.
Oh yeah.
Are glad that we're in better moods.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Lisa, what tip would you have for someone that might be interested in trying Plexus, but is real skeptical?
Oh gosh. I'm always just a big advocate of just go for it, right? There's a 60-day money back guarantee. And I always tell people, I promise you, it is easy to get your money back. I've had maybe 2 people do it over the last 5 years, but it was easy. And so there's really no risk to take. I mean, people are always like, well, what's the worst that can happen? So I like to just say like, well, what's the best thing that could happen, right? What's the best thing that could happen if you try this? And it's that you're going to feel amazing. And maybe you are going to have to make some wiggle room in your budget to, keep buying these products. But it seems like to me, like people, kind of at first are like, oh, I can't spend $100 on myself a month. Like, you do it all the time on stupid crap you don't need, right? Right? Nails, whatever, coffee, Target, like, and once people start buying it, I've had so many people say to me, like, it doesn't even matter how much it costs. Like, I'm buying it every month and it doesn't even seem like it's expensive to me anymore, just because what it does for you, and people just find ways to make it work. So my biggest tip would be just go for it, try it. And if you don't love it, whoever helped you buy it will help you get your money back. I mean, there's nothing to lose.
Risk-free for sure. Yeah, I told my husband after 5 weeks on the products, I said, I don't care what we have to do, what we have to move around. I can't not be on these products. I can't be without them. So, and he agrees. So thank you, Lisa, for sharing. We love your story. All right, Miss Jessica, you are up. So sweet Jessica, real quick, just tell us first what you do now, what you used to do, and how many kids you have.
So I am Jessica Koblentz. I live in Montgomery, Alabama. And I taught school for 6 years. I actually taught Lisa's son. And when he was in 4th grade, that was a while ago. And I taught school for 6 years in the public school system, 4th grade, all 6 years, and then got out of the public system, became a preschool director for a church preschool. And I did that for 3 years until I got pregnant again. And then ended up thankfully being able to stay home. So I have 4 children. They are ages of a son who's 13, a son who is 11, a daughter who's 5, and a son who is 1.5. So we go from 1.5 to 13. And I always laugh and joke that talking about sex over here with my 13-year-old and changing diapers with my 1.5-year-old. So we are all over the board, but it stays interesting around here.
Full spectrum for sure. I know they keep you on your toes, especially with those chickens. If y'all don't follow Jessica, y'all need to, because she usually in your stories you'll put about the chickens and all the fun stuff happening outside, and your kids definitely keep you on your toes for sure, but they sure are cute. Okay, Jess, so first question. So why did you try Plexus? What was going on with you that you decided I've got to try this?
Okay. So short backstory, I battled IBS, migraines, mood swings, light sleep, acid reflux, everything that you can imagine that's not like puts you in the hospital sick, but that keeps you over the counter buying stuff all the time in your bag my entire life, like from the age of 2nd grade up until I finally discovered Plexus. And so I was pregnant with my 3rd child and working as a preschool director. And my best friend, Megan Griffin, had come to me and she was like, Jessica, I just started these products. She started them in March and I was doing June. And so I ended up having my baby, did not start the products. And 2 weeks in, I was like, Megan, I feel bad. I feel horrible. I was like, I had what were they? 4 and 6 or 6 and 8-year-old kids at home. I can't remember how far apart they are. But, and she was like, just try these products, trust me, and do it. And I was like, whatever, how do I sign up? It was the July 4th special. The price was like $19.89 or something like that. And I got it. I joined and started the triplex and I just trusted her and I did exactly what she said for me to do. And I started noticing a difference in 2 weeks because I always had that blood sugar crash. Everybody has, especially teachers. I know that teachers do because working in the public system during every break, before school, after school, at lunch, everybody was running to that Coke machine to get a Dr. Pepper or a Coke or a Diet Coke. And I was one of them. And I noticed in 2 weeks in that I could not drink more than one sip of a Diet Coke. It was just so sweet. And just kept on and kept on. And 3 months in, started noticing I didn't have acid reflux anymore. 6 months in, started noticing my migraines were diminishing. 8 months in, I started noticing I had no more IBS. And 1 year in, I had gone from 14 migraines a month to 1. So that is, I always like to say that part because I said 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. That's how long it took of being consistent. But now I'm 5 years in and still free of all of that stuff. So I'm very thankful she forced me into trying Plexus.
I love me some Megan, and I love our forceful friends who say, we know what's best. Please just try it. That's right. Yes. Yeah. And I like that quote that says, the time is going to pass anyway. So some people think, well, I haven't lost 30 pounds in a week, or my 14 migraines a month hasn't gone away in 6 months. The time is going to pass anyway. So the more we work on ourselves and get to the root of the problem instead of putting Band-Aids on everything, man, imagine if you hadn't have, tried what you did when you did, and you're 5 years in. Imagine all the pain and suffering and misery the last 5 years could have been for you,
Exactly.
that you saved yourself.
Back off of what Lisa said, I mean, a lot of people are like, it's so expensive, and it was a more of a bulk type of expensive. You paid up front for it pretty much, and it was like, whoa, what am I paying for here? What am I getting out of this? But now when I look back, like, I'm not buying a Dr. Pepper or Coke. I'm not going to Starbucks every single morning. I'm not buying a bottle this big of extra strength, Tylenol and Tums and Imodium and all the things that I had to have with me no matter where I went. And when you look at the give and the take that you have in that price wise, like what exactly, I love what she said because it's so true. It doesn't even seem expensive anymore. And it's the same thing. Like if you go to Starbucks every single day, when you first go to Starbucks, you're like, what? I'm going to pay $7 for a coffee. And then you go every day and it's not expensive to you anymore because it's something you feel like you need or you want. So
yeah, I wonder how many people, and I used to be at Starbucks every day. I did.
I definitely was.
But imagine if, Starbucks Corporation said, okay, you're no longer allowed to buy Starbucks daily. You must pay up front for the next month. Who's going to spend, let's just say it's the small, like the $5 a day. Let's just say, who's going to spend $150 a month on coffee up front? Do you know what I mean? But the people that put value on that coffee because of the way that makes them feel, the prestige maybe of walking around the Starbucks, I don't know, but because it's hip or whatever, some people would say, I don't care because I value my Starbucks. Well, I value not having IBS. You value not having migraines and IBS. What we place our value on can sometimes, not have a monetary price. It's not going to have a monetary value. It's going to have, the value is going to be, it's immeasurable, really. So it's priceless. I think there's a MasterCard commercial. It's just priceless, So yeah, I totally agree. I mean, whatever it takes to be able to have these supplements. I almost have a panic attack sometimes. Like if my order has to come in and I've run out, I'm about to run out of something. I'll have a mini panic attack going, I can't not be without my BioCleanse. I just can't, so stuff like that. It's funny. Okay. So, all right, Jess, what products do your kids take and what changes have you noticed in them?
Okay. So first of all, everybody in our whole family is on it. My husband and all 4 kids. And people are like, do you give it to the baby? I'm like, absolutely. and I'll kind of tell you a little bit how I do it all. So first of all, I would like to say that before Plexus, of course, you know, everybody's like, your kids have to be on a vitamin. I mean, it was no question. Everybody put their kids on vitamins, but it was like, I was on Flintstones when I grew up. The chewable Flintstones that my children would probably throw up if I tried to make them taste it. And then when my kids were growing up, it was all about the sugar, basically. If you could find one coated in sugar, the kids would eat it. And you thought you're getting the best vitamin, and at least you're getting your vitamins in them. So that's what my older boys took. And then, like I said, I started the products after my daughter was born, 2 weeks after she was born. So what I realized is with her, she was getting, because I nursed her, breastfed her. And so she was getting all the probiotic that I was taking. She was getting all of the great, good stuff that I was taking through my breast milk. And then when she moved to bottles, and the same with Tank, that's the baby, Tank is the baby. Same with Tank. I would take a little bit of Probio 5 and mix it down in the bottle and shake it up, and they would drink that throughout the day. My older boys, when Plexus came out with the kids vitamins, I've always given them those, and then they came out with the newer ones. And when we came out with the newer multivitamin for kids, my older boys switched to the X Factor. So but in the morning they take 2 X Factors. Actually, my oldest has ADD. And we've actually, he was on medicine for 3 years, and we struggled greatly with his medicine. And he would go through bouts of depression when he was coming off of it. He was not himself. He wouldn't eat to the point where, I know a lot of people, you don't really have an appetite on attention deficit medicines, but it was causing him to really break down inside, and he was not himself. And so we tried 4 different ones. They all did the same thing, and we weaned him off of those. And I started giving him more of the Plexus supplements for a lot of different things. And so he takes 2 regular X Factors in the morning before school. He takes 2 Mega X in the morning before school, and 2 Probio 5s. And my middle son takes 1 of all of those right now, and he's 11. But my oldest also, he drinks a Slim in the morning before school, or he just takes it with school. He also plays football and basketball for our school. And so it has been so great to watch this, but because I didn't force this on him, he did it himself. But he drinks Active and Hydrate mixed for every practice, and asks for it. Like, Mom, will you make my drink? I've got to go. Or today his practice was right after school. So he was like, make sure you send my packet. So I did, so he could make his own. But my older boys, that's what they drink. And they also love the protein shakes. They make a protein shake almost every day. But my daughter and then my 1.5-year-old, I give them the children's vitamin, and I give Tank, who's 1.5. I break the little vitamin into fourths, and I have a little bottle that I put his in along with the Probio 5. I give him a little bit of Probio 5 and the vitamin. So that's what they take.
Lots of good stuff in the Copeland's house. That's great
stuff. And they drink the kids' microbiome drink too.
Tank does. Ava does too. She drinks that every morning.
So it smells like a pixie stick. I heard Lisa say she loves how it smells. It does. It's so good.
It's so good. It really is. Sometimes I just drink it just because I wanna, Yeah. Because it's good. Okay. Jess, so I know we hear a lot about stay-at-home moms that are so tired all the time, and all these issues that they have and these complaints. So what changes or what differences have you noticed in yourself being a stay-at-home mom now compared to your other friends who are stay-at-home moms who aren't on Plexus? What differences do you see in the two of you?
My biggest difference that I have noticed, especially even if I compare myself to my pre-Plexus self, is I that crash the biggest thing is the crash. And I mean, I hear it from anybody, whether they are working corporate America, whether they're a teacher, stay at home mom, homeschooling mama, everybody's like, how can I get over this energy crash? Like, I just want to take a nap every afternoon when I get home. And I was that way. I mean, I literally would fall on the sofa and just crash every afternoon. Um, and it was not I mean, I still love a good nap. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like now I don't have to take a nap. I don't have to take a nap to get through the rest of my day. I would say that's probably the biggest thing. I can get through my day. I can get through it with energy. Number one, I did not sleep well at all before Plexus. I thought I did, but I called myself a light sleeper. But I never actually slept. But now when I put my head on my pillow, I am out, and I do not wake up until that alarm goes off or until the sun comes up. And that is a huge difference. And it is amazing what good sleep and good mood and healthy eating habits, or healthier. I wouldn't say I'm not a plant eater or anything like that, but I mean, just feeling better will do for you as a mom. I mean, you're able to be there, and we all know, I mean, here it is 8:30, and 3 out of 4 of my kids are still wide awake. I'm sure my husband's already in the bed. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go downstairs, have to get everybody to bed, clean up, fill out papers from the first day of school, and I'll be up doing a bunch of stuff, and then I get to go to bed, but I still have to wake up at 6 in the morning. But I can do that. I have the energy to do that, and I feel good enough to do that.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. My mom is very wise. She's not in the medical field, but she's very wise. And she always said, Lisa, if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. So when our bodies aren't resting, I mean, the Lord is so brilliant that he allows us to have a time that we're supposed to rest, and everything gets reset, gets healed. You're resting. And if we're not sleeping well, of course, it makes sense that we're not going to feel well during the day. A lot of people don't make that connection, but if your gut is healthy, where your serotonin, is produced, which it's like your body's own natural Prozac, so if you're able to produce that in your gut, you're able to produce that naturally, man, we're able just to ride that sleep train all the way till the morning. And it makes a huge difference for sure. Okay. Last question, Jess. All right. Okay. Share your favorite mom hack.
Okay. So there are a couple that I have, and I'll just share them really quickly. So one, and I'm going to say this, but I have always, always, always given my children, and I guess I can say the name of it, Pedialyte freezer pops. Always. They've never known the difference. I mean, unless they go to a friend's house and get a regular freeze pop loaded with sugar, I've just always given them the Pedialyte ones because, they liked them. They never acted any different. I was like, I mean, it's good electrolytes for them. Well, when Plexus came out with Hydrate, I started making those into popsicles, and now I give them those. So they're getting, they're staying hydrated. They're getting electrolytes. They're not getting all that added sugar. And they don't know the difference. And my neighborhood, I always tell the moms are in the neighborhood, I'm like, guess what? Your kid ate this popsicle or this freeze pop at my house, and they didn't know a difference at all. So I love that hack. And another hack is, I mentioned that I give Tank, the baby, the ProBio 5 and the kids vitamin, and people are like, how do you do that? So what I get is I get the sugar-free applesauce squeezable things, and I take the capsule and I dump a little bit in it, and then just kind of squeeze it and shake it a little bit, and I mean, he sucks that thing down, has no clue that it's even in there. And then what I do, then you can put the cap right back on the ProBio 5. And so I do about a third of it so I give him 1/3 of a ProBio 5 in his applesauce every day. And then I put the cap back on, and I have an old X Factor vitamin little tub, and I keep them in there along with his vitamin that I cut in fourths, and I give him a 4th every single day. And then I guess the last hack would be I swapped David used to take, my oldest used to take Gatorade or Powerade, a massive jug of it to practice every single time. And it was just loaded. I mean, those do have electrolytes in them. They also have sugar, which brings a huge crash at the end. And so now he is begging for the hydrate with the active mixed in it. And I feel completely confident sending him with a huge jug of that instead. So I think it's great. It's easy to swap this for that. And I did want to say this because I meant to say this earlier, because I feel like this is something I hear all the time. Well, we got the vitamins, or my kids have this, but they won't take it. They just won't take it. Y'all, do kids take anything that's good for them? I mean, the vitamins that you get at the store, are they really going to take those if you just, leave them on the counter? No, you have to if you know what's best for them. I mean, I make my kids take this stuff. I don't care. I'm like, you have to have this. And guess what? They will take it. If you know that what's best for them, they will do it. I mean, you don't want them later on in life, you're having to force all these, prescriptions down their throat because they have reflux. Go ahead and start them with something that is good for them, that they can continue for the rest of their life. So that's just one of the things that always drives me crazy when people say they just won't take it. They don't like it. I'm like, figure out a way to get it down there.
I love that, Jessica. And I am 100% with you. People have called our house Camp Knopfsinger because we kind of run a tighter ship than some. And so I have the same mentality. Is I know what's best for my kids. I know that I don't want my kids to struggle with the same issues that I struggled with, and I have had to overcome and work through over the last 6 years. There's no point in it if I know better. So I always tell my kids, if you know better, do better. So since I know better, I do better. And I always, I told my kids, they don't mind to take anything now, but when they were younger, I started my youngest, she's 10 now, but when she was 4, she didn't want to take something. And I'd say, it's okay if you don't like it. That's okay. You still need to take it. Like, I don't play that. Yeah, she doesn't get an option with certain things. And of course, if my mom's watching this, she's going to say, you be sweet to my baby. But I see the long-term benefits more than I just see, well, I don't like the way that tastes. Well, your taste buds can change and we can work with that. And it's going to be all right. And let's just suck it down. So, but now there's no problem, of course. So, all right. Well, thank you guys, Jessica and Lisa. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Everybody that's watching, thank you so much for sharing your night with us. And I pray special blessings to everybody whose kiddos are starting school or about to start school, and for all the teachers and staff and everyone. I pray a special blessing for a wonderful, healthy, normal as possible school year. So cheers to a good school year. So we will see you back here next week for another Wellness Wednesday. And until then, y'all take care. Bye.